Holy cow. I can't wait to show you guys this new tool that we just got. If you've been following the channel for a long time, you know that we work a lot of the times with places like StuMac, which we talk about a lot. We work with SurfPrep Sanding, and they are affiliate links of ours. But we are still very firm believers that when a good tool is a good tool, that we should share that information with you guys. This is one of those tools. We are not being sponsored by them. They don't know that we're making this video. We spent our own hard-earned money on it. So what is it? Technically it is the Viratex SVN 460, and it is a vacuum clamp. And you might be thinking to yourself, what is a vacuum clamp? In a lot of our videos, you'll see us actually use one, and this is the old one right here. It looks like a little bit of a flower. It's a homemade one that we made, and what it does is it runs on vacuum, and it allows us to suction cup a guitar body to it so that we can then rotate it and work on it when we need to, because a guitar body is not really something that you can put inside of a clamp without causing damage. The features on this thing are everything that a guitar maker or a woodworker would ever want out of a vacuum clamp. So what I'm going to do is just kind of quickly run you through those features. So what does this thing offer that this old one that I had does not do? The big one is that what it allows us to do is to be able to quickly rotate, if I had this turned on, a guitar from this position into any position, horizontal or vertical, or anywhere in between. And the other thing that it has, which is the part that made me just like so excited, it's got this really awesome quick release right here that allows me to then be able to rotate this whole upper section 45-degree increments. So between those two, I can basically move my guitar or whatever I have vacuum clamped to this in any place that I need to. As far as I can tell, everything on this entire clamp is made out of steel, and then it's been powder coated. All of the hardware that's on it looks incredibly well made. It's even got a vacuum manifold down here at the bottom so that you can actually hook up different vacuum attachments to it. You can actually make it so that this whole entire thing vacuum clamps down to your workbench. So it doesn't even need to get bolted down to a workbench if you want. You can actually just turn this quarter turn valve and it'll suction cup to your workbench, which is really, really amazing if you have workbenches that you don't want to drill holes in, or if you do find that you need to be taking this vacuum clamp from one place in your shop to the other. And here's the big thing. Vacuum is not something that most people have in their workshop. Let's not confuse vacuum with like dust collection, because those are different things. What we're referring to here is an actual pool of vacuum that you would use to do like a vacuum bag or something like that. And vacuum pumps can be pretty expensive if you want to get a good one. But what we found out when we cracked this open is that it will actually run on, and it's actually intended to run on, compressed air, but it'll also work on vacuum. We've figured out how we can modify it to work on a vacuum line as well. And when you run it on vacuum, it's dead silent. It doesn't make any noise whatsoever. Another feature and concern that a lot of folks have had when it comes to looking for a vacuum clamp for guitars is the surface area. Here at the top, the size of this, is it going to be big enough to hold a guitar while not being too big so that you can't put a lot of instruments on it? And that to me is another really cool feature about this one. These gaskets, you're actually able to remove them, and then you can run just 2 cubes, or 1 cube, 3 cubes, whatever you want. You can run it anywhere between 1 and 9 of these different cubes so that you can actually set this up to fit even really small objects on here. I think in theory, I actually probably should be able to put even like a bridge blank on here if I wanted to. So it's really, really versatile, way more so than the LMI one ever was, or the homemade one that I made. All in, we ended up spending 420 bucks on this shipped to the door. It literally showed up in less than 24 hours. I hadn't even purchased it at this time yesterday. So what I want to do now is I want to run over and bolt it down to my workbench over here, and I just want to show you guys how good it works. And other than that, really what we just wanted to do is show you an awesome tool and show you where you can buy it. Like I said, we aren't taking any sort of affiliate payouts or anything like that. The folks who own this company, they don't even know about us at all. We're just a customer. So let's get it bolted down and show you guys how awesome it works. Okay, so we've got it bolted down to the workbench, and what I have it hooked up to at this point is my vacuum line. I do want to show you how it works with compressed air as well, but first I'll show you how it works with vacuum. I'm gonna open up the vacuum valve without putting the guitar on here so that you guys can hear how quiet this thing is. So let me see if it even picks up on the microphone. There's almost nothing, almost absolutely nothing. But at that point, I can then set my guitar on here. Yep, so now we're on. It does have just a kiss of play, just because there's a little bit of lash in the gears on the side, but it's not really going anywhere. I love that the guitar is sitting up nice and high and that I can work on it. The other thing that I can do at that point is I can then flip this valve and I can rotate it any way that I want, which is really cool. And then I can loosen this up if I want to, which is really the most useful way to use this thing in my opinion. Yes, I can rotate it from this side and move this guitar into any position that I want to so that it works really nicely. And it's sitting in here really solid so that if I need to be working on this guitar in any way, putting a lot of pressure onto it, it's gonna hold itself. And when I'm done using it, I can just hit this quarter turn valve here on the side, pop that off, wait a second, and then the guitar comes right off of here. Amazing. So what I'm gonna do is switch this over from from vacuum air over to compressed air, and you guys can see how well it works with that. Okay, so we've disconnected the vacuum line, and now what we have is compressed air. It's kind of magic how this all works. It uses a Venturi effect. We're kind of like blowing air over a Coke bottle. You get a sound with that. You create a vacuum when you do that, actually. And that's kind of what's happening here. We have, I think I have this set to about 90 PSI. So I can hook this up here on the side, just like we would with anything else. And then I'll open up this valve, and it's gonna be louder because what's happening now is air is coming out of this little side vent. It's noisy, but it works just the same. And that's really a cool thing, right? So if you're looking for a vacuum solution in your shop and you don't have an actual vacuum pump, you can still make this work with a compressor. What a cool vacuum clamp. I am really excited. You guys will be seeing this in pretty much all of our videos moving forward because I'm gonna be using it all the time. Like I said, we're gonna have a link to this down below. I hope you guys got something from this video, and we'll see you in the next one. Thanks a lot.